Now, as we move on, we're going to go backwards a bit in the playbooks to talk about offers, but a very particular type of offer, which is going to be the big head, long tail frame. The big man himself, Brian Downard, is going to deliver for us. Let's give it up for B!
All right, I'm gonna try and do this with the microphone, and if it doesn't work, I'll just talk really loud and we're gonna make do. Cool? All right, so couple things, real talk, okay? Everyone, half listening on phones, all good? I know you're working on stuff, but let's just hear me out for a second, okay? We have about 40 minutes till lunch. The team doesn't think I can get it done in that time. I'm gonna prove them wrong, first of all. I'm going to intentionally do this quickly so we can do the masterminding and workshops around that. Is that fair? Yeah. Cool. So real quick, I want to give some flowers to Belle. I'm not sure if she's still here. Okay, there we are. Belle, it's so fun to watch her come do this, to see, first of all, how passionate she is about it, but she is a genuinely gifted storyteller. If you guys have a chance tonight at the after party, corner her, talk about Antarctica, talk about aliens, you'll see how incredible of a storyteller she is, but she draws you in. And so it's so fun to see her in her element here and do this because it's second nature for her, right? A lot of us might not have that same level of confidence that Belle does yet. And we wanted to jump in and share with you guys in her workshop some of the most important things and most exciting things that everyone here wants to learn about. How do I use paid ads to get more customers? So if any of you are feeling like you're kind of struggling though to piece this together, we are going to go backwards a little bit and work on some of the foundational elements of the offer that are going to make it work. So it's not just talking about, and here we go, this is going to be a fun tech day all around. It's not just about having a big head, long tail, which we'll talk about what that means.
You're good.
This is also going to be something we call the 3S formula. So just real quick, by show of hands, who currently gets customers outside of referrals? Outside of referrals. Okay. A little mix, a little less than half maybe. Okay, so if you are currently not getting clients from outside of word of mouth referrals, this is going to be the unlock, guys. I promise you. This is what is going to change the game for you. And if you were already getting customers outside of word of mouth referrals, this will make it even more effective to get those customers. Your cost of acquisition will drop and your lifetime value will increase because you are attracting more of the right people. And so just for and I'm gonna keep touching the computer here so it doesn't go out on me. One of our clients, I don't know, Alex, when was this shared? Maybe a couple weeks ago. So worked with Alex and Drew, who unfortunately could not be here. They were going to, but couldn't. I wanted them to share this personally, but they shared this essentially where 3 new clients signed up. Client number 1, $3K, set up $2,500 a month, all prepaid for the year because of this strategy. So how many of you guys actually want your customers to prepay for a year instead of getting paid month to month? Okay? That's something you want? All right, good. Pay attention because that's what we're going to get into. So I'm going to be scrolling through this. My presentation is not as pretty as maybe some other ones, but I want you to ignore this at your own peril if you don't want to make more money, because I remember, and by the way, anyone who's out of curiosity, go to college for business marketing? That's all I love. Okay, so I tried to. I wasn't very good as a student, unfortunately, but a lot of what we talked about in some of my marketing 101 classes were like pain points about your ideal client. And I thought that was so boring and like my eyes glossed over. It's like, I just want to go make money as quickly as possible. Who cares about like talking about pain points? That is stupid. No one cares. And really, what I have learned, and I'll share another story here in a little bit, is that these basics are actually what will win you championships. There's nothing fancy, new, shiny you don't already probably know. It's doing the foundational things at a really high level, and that is understanding the pain that you solve for your clients. And so we're going to break down all of this in the presentation. Who has seen this graphic before? It's called the emotional cycle of change. Just by show of hands. Really? Okay, only a couple of you. Great. So very, very quickly, wait, really quick, show of hands again. Who's seen this? I want to call out some names. Okay, so Shannon, what is uninformed optimism? Yeah.
Oh, it's like you're really excited about something, but you don't have all the details, so you don't know that you don't really know what you're walking into. But it sounds really exciting.
Yep, like a shiny object, right? Cool. So who wants to take a stab at what informed pessimism is?
It's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be hard.
You educate yourself, you say, oh shit.
Yep, the more you learn about something, the more you realize you know nothing at all, right? So that's informed pessimism. You start to learn, you're like, holy cow, this is way harder than I thought it was. And then you enter this pretty little place. It's called the Valley of Despair. And unfortunately, what a lot of people do is they quit and they repeat phase 1 through 3, and they live in this cycle over and over and over again, right? We don't want to do that. The valley of despair for most agencies is only growing off of word of mouth and referrals. You can get past that valley of despair, again, by doing what we're going to work on here together in this workshop. And so then once you can solve that valley of despair, you can get to a place of informed optimism, where now, Shannon, I'll let you take this one. What's informed optimism?
I think you have all the details, and now you like have a plan, and you know that you can do it. Like you actually have a road to go on.
100%. You start to see what is possible and believe that you can do it. Even if you're not quite there yet, you see that it is possible. And so then this will take you to a place of where you can actually push through and succeed and get to that level 5, which is the success and fulfillment we all want. And so what we're gonna get out of this is how you're gonna actually make cold acquisition work. A lot of you joined POD because you wanted that. You wanted to be able to take internet strangers from an ad or from outbound or however you wanted to get clients outside of referrals and get them to believe in what you do. This will allow you to have a better offer so that acquisition is easier. You can get paid more money up front. You can stack recurring revenue on the back end longer. Hint, hint. This is big head, more money up front. Long-term MRR is the long tail. So again, we'll get into more details about that later. And this will also help you elevate your offer above a commodity conversation because you are selling pain away, not just outcomes. I was just having a conversation with someone here, and we were filming the ads, and we were talking about the idea of people are motivated by 2 things. Anyone want to take a shot at what those 2 things are? Great. What was it? Say it out loud. Yeah, want pleasure, avoid pain. What was it? Cool. Same thing. Perfect, right? Who knows which is a more powerful motivator? I already showed it here. Don't look. Can you guess?
Fear, pain.
Pain. 100% every time. People are very, very good at living in whatever situation they're living in. And the prospect of gain, it's nice, it's cool to think about, but many, many, many people are much more motivated by the fear of pain or the fear of future pain. And so that is what you have to lean into and understand about your offer to make any of the things that Bell said work. And also, it will allow you to communicate your offer in a way that gives your prospects confidence you understand the pain, and therefore the perceived likelihood of success in working with you is that much higher because of your intimate understanding of the pain that they're going through. And your clients can finance your acquisition when you have the right pricing strategy in place. And so we had this silly thing that was blowing all over the place, so I'm just gonna do it this way. The offer evolution. There's 4 stages of offer evolution. I want you guys to participate with me. So someone who hasn't spoke up yet, what do you think the first stage of the offer evolution is? You sell what? Just throw out some words. Keep going. That was it. Almost. Who said outcome? Almost. I like that.
Band-aid. Results.
Cool. We're getting there. All right. Who said it?
Anything.
Yes. Okay. Shannon nailed it. Perfect. Love it. So again, forgive me here while I. Oh, and Alex told me I had to do it this way. Oh no. Okay. We're gonna figure it out. We're in it together. We're in it, squad. All right. So first thing is you sell anything and everything. This is the first stage of offer evolution. All right. So I'm gonna jump ahead to number 2 because someone already said this. Actually, I apologize. I lied. I jumped ahead. So now you actually start to sell services, right? I'll say, hey, we sell everything. We do everything for everyone, right? That's stage 1. Stage 2 is, hey, we sell Facebook ads. You start to get specific about then the services you sell, right? A lot of us tend to live in this world of we sell this thing. But again, when you only sell a service, you're now involved in that commodity conversation of there's a lot of other people who sell that same exact service. How will you differentiate yourself? So the third stage is here, and someone already called this out. Great job, Aaron. Is you start to sell outcomes. Okay, this is the next evolution where it's not Facebook ads, it's what does the Facebook ads do for them and what does it actually achieve for them? And the final stage here, this one's a little bit of a trick question. Who wants to call out what stage 4 is?
Identity.
Close, I like it. I heard results. It's good. Results to me and outcomes are kind of the same. Throw out some more words. What's stage 4? Good, I like it. Not quite. We're so close. We're so close. I'm going to share with you guys, right? It's not just transformation. It is, and we're going to play this game a couple times here today. It's a unique system to get the outcome. Belle already talked about this a little bit earlier, and I'm going to show you guys again, if you don't quite have that yet, how to package yours here. So again, quick story that I alluded to a little bit earlier. It took us guys, gosh, I mean, this is now, I'm back like probably 4 or 5 years ago, and Alex remembers this. We worked with so many agencies who were incredibly gifted at what they did in terms of running paid ads. None of them could get paid ads to work for us. And the reason was that we had learned, and we had to figure this out, was we were trying to, it wasn't their fault. They were good at what they did. We were trying to sell all of what we did to agencies. We had our specific person, but we weren't specific enough about that problem. And so what I talk about is this idea of the tip of the spear. You have to have the discipline in your advertising to solve one problem at a time, because if we try and solve too many problems, even if you could, it will confuse your prospects, and a confused mind doesn't decide and they don't buy. And so what we did, instead of saying, hey, marketing agencies, we'll help you with your offer and your lead gen and your sales and mindset and operations and scaling, we picked one thing. We have prospecting in a box to help you get more consistent sales calls. And yes, there are other things on the back end of that, but this is how you lead with what is the sharpest, most painful thing they're experiencing, and your offer and tip of the spear for what you do is going to communicate that. Making sense so far? Making sense, yes? Okay, cool. I'm gonna keep rocking through this because the team said I couldn't do it in under 45. We're gonna freaking do it, man. All right, common mistakes to avoid, just to run through these real quick, and I can't really read this well, I gotta stand over here. So again, blaming ads, sales reps, bad leads when you can't grow past referrals. It's very likely none of these things, and it's how you are positioning what you actually sell. Selling what you want instead of what your ideal client profile needs. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to. It's like, I love database reactivation. I can't wait to go sell this to roofers. It's like, it doesn't match up. Roofers, people only need a roof once every 20, 30 years. You cannot just sell what you get excited about. AI is just a vehicle. It's not the destination the people you're selling to actually want. So again, I think there's nothing necessarily wrong with full service once you can grow into that. If you're trying to start full service though, it's very challenging. What you want to do is scale vertically and nail one thing first, and then you can scale horizontally and offer additional things. I don't think full service is wrong. It just hurts you in the beginning and will hurt you even when you're more advanced if you're trying to advertise as full service. Again, that's not having a tip of the spear. Again, having an offer that is nice to have instead of need to have. This is where the positioning comes in. AI is just nice to have unless it does something that solves a very specific painful problem. Again, selling features instead of paying fixed. Talked about that a little bit already. Custom proposals for things that can't be productized. Chasing flavors of the week. And really, Alex mentioned this earlier, and I appreciate that, man. Like, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. If you try to do everything, you will confuse your prospects. Your offer will be harder to sell, and it'll be harder to scale because you do not have an assembly line. You're trying to keep the plate spinning in a million different directions. All right, so let's talk about the 3S formula. Who's heard me talk about this before at all? Really? Oh, I'm so excited, right? Okay, cool. Love this. Who wants to take a stab at just some of these? You don't have to guess them in order. What are the 3 specific things you need to make your offer work? I want to hear from someone who hasn't spoke up yet. Don't avoid eye contact. Someone speak up. Okay, we're getting close, close. Keep going. Throw out some words. 3 things. What's up?
Solution.
Okay, almost. Keep going. It's close.
Problem.
Who said problem?
Specific.
Nailed it. All right, so we got one. We got one here. Let me see if I can get my mouse back in the mix here. All right, so we got one. Someone give that man a hat. All right, so specific problem, okay? Gotta have a specific problem. Throw out a couple more. What else do you need? Belle actually covered it earlier. So someone who said customer? Cool, love it. So customer is gonna be your person, right? That's your ICP. One more, Belle covered it. She covered this one, so she gave it to you. She gave it to you.
Away.
Nail. Who said way? And okay, and a name? Exactly. Perfect. That's exactly what it is. So this is the 3S formula, and this is why I can't find my mouse. I don't know why the mic didn't like you, Belle. The mic's been working okay for me. That's okay. So in a specific way, right? So this is what I call the 3S formula. You need a specific person, a specific problem, and again, the discipline to only speak to that problem, even if you could solve others. And then number 3, your unique way in which you do it. Now, I talk to a lot of people who come to us from our ads who either run Google ads or Facebook ads. Like, Brian, like which do you recommend? Well, from just a number standpoint, Facebook ads we tend to see have like a 2 to 3x lower cost of acquisition than Google ads. But another big problem is when we're trying to sell the commodity, the thing, and it's digital marketing or Facebook ads for plumbers or whatever, you now are lumping yourself into this commodity conversation of, oh, well, like someone else overseas could do it for half the price. And so what I love about Facebook ads in particular is it allows you to speak to these 3 things so that you can call out the ideal client in your industry that you want to serve at different levels of revenue or whatever position they are in their business, and speak to the problem, not just what you do, but the pain solved, so their perceived likelihood of success in working with you is higher. And then packaging it in a unique way. Bell had a lot of amazing names for systems because this is what is going to work with cold acquisition. Having the right person will disqualify the wrong people and attract the right ones. Higher perceived likelihood, we talked about that. And avoids the I've tried this before conversation because it's not just Facebook ads, it's the ABC system, whatever you call your process. It allows you to establish authority, differentiate from other people, and really just have what's a new opportunity. Has anyone ever heard of a P90X fitness program? Some of you have heard me talk about this. P90X is not the first at-home fitness program to exist, but what Beachbody, the parent company, understands about marketing is when you present someone a unique opportunity, they can't now say, oh, well, I've tried it before. I've tried the gym. I've tried dieting. I've tried at-home fitness. They haven't tried P90X. And so you need to package what you do in a unique way so that everything else becomes more believable, and it's a new vehicle that they haven't yet tried. All right, so let's do a couple of examples of like, if you were to combine these things, person, problem, way, give me some examples of what a bad hook would be. Bad examples. All bad ones. What's that? I love it. It's terrible. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone else? Give me a bad hook for like an agency. Like that would not work at all, or be really bad. Get more leads. Exactly. We get more leads. It's bad, right?
Make more sales.
Make more sales. These are all. I mean, they sound nice, but this is not going to resonate with the people that you actually want to sell. And so again, an example I have here, I'm doing my best to rock through this, would be we help small businesses grow their revenue. How many of you have maybe started with something like this? Or we help small businesses get more leads. We help service-based businesses grow. What does that mean? Like, we know what it means, but it's not specific enough to make anyone who doesn't actually know you or like you or trust you take action on that. And because you aren't specific enough, they actually doubt you because they don't actually believe you can solve their problem. All right, so a better version of this would be, but speaking to a low quality, ideal client profile in your niche would be something like, we help plumbers struggling to get more local leads and grow. I don't think that was great English, but I think you know what I'm saying. So why this doesn't work, and I want you guys to just remove the word struggling from your vocabulary and your copywriting, whatever your dictionary. Because guess what? When you use the word struggling in your ads, guess what type of prospects you're going to attract? People who are struggling. And so instead, you want to speak to the segment of your market in a way that is in the pain and in the way that they communicate that pain. And so I use this example all the time. But if you have a roofing company, like you go back to that example, who's solo owner operator versus the roofing company doing $50 million a year, they probably have the same problem. I need more leads, I need to grow, but they communicate that pain in a very, very different way. The beginner solo owner operator, nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got to start somewhere. They might say, I'm struggling. And so when you're wondering, why am I getting terrible leads from my ads? Well, you're speaking to the lowest common denominator in industry. Instead, you might say something like, hey, roofing companies who want to get their techs out of the back of the shop, stop smoking cigarettes, get the trucks on the road, and actually be busy during the slow season doing roofing repair. So it's much, much more specific. I had a better example, the one I just paraphrased right there. But this is how you can get much more specific and speak to not only the niche you want to serve, but the ideal clients inside of that niche who you want to work with. Do you guys see the difference? Head nods, thumbs up, eyes? Okay, cool. So we help plumbing teams keep their trucks and techs on the road and get more emergency plumbing jobs during the slow season without sharing leads with all your competitors. Do you see, and can you guys just see like how much better this is gonna be and resonate with your ideal clients than something like this? And everyone's so worried about like, but Brian, on my website, like I don't wanna like scare people away. It's fine. Niching down and being specific doesn't hurt you from getting other opportunities that already would have come to you, but it puts you in the best possible position to attract the ideal clients you really wanna work with. All right, so we're gonna rock through a couple things here, then I got a workshop for you guys. Just a couple of things to think about when you're going through this process, okay? Because we have a worksheet right here we're gonna get into in just a moment. What would be something that absolutely would disqualify a client from working with you? I want you to think about that. You don't have to write it down right now. And yeah, there you go, an asshole. We literally, on our SOP for our outbound setting team, we have a list of ideal clients, less ideal clients that we can serve, not ideal, and then total DQ. Top of the list is no assholes. That's a real thing in POD. It says if they are a jerk, do not set them. We don't want to work with them. And so for you, think about what that criteria looks like. When we're talking about the problem, you need to think about this idea of a bleeding neck solution. If you stub your toe, it's fine. I put a Band-Aid on it. It's okay. It's not that big of a problem. If you get a big cut on your neck, that's a big problem. You're going to go take care of that right away. And so this will elevate you from being nice to have versus need to have. So it needs to be something urgent that they want solved right now. Even better, bonus points should be something they're already spending money on. It's very hard sometimes if you're trying to sell AI to small businesses who aren't already spending money on AI because they're not really sure. They don't maybe understand the value or know what it can do for them. So it's very important you package it in this way. I talked about this a couple times, but it's so key, guys. The intimate understanding of the problems your clients go through will give them the belief you know how to solve that. And if you can't communicate it in that way, they won't trust you and they'll go look somewhere else. Then having the tip of the spear is have the discipline to not solve everything, but solve one thing that is the most urgent. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick workshop. I thought I did this a little bit sooner, but it's okay. We're gonna get it done right now. I want you guys to take just 2 minutes here. We're gonna go through what I call the 7 layers of why. Okay, so everyone go to the back of your notebooks right now. Back in the notebooks. I want you to write down at the top what you do for your clients. Just one line. I heard you all say this earlier. I probably want you actually to write down the thing you said earlier. Whatever it is when you stood up and, hey, I'm Brian, I do this. What was that? Write it down. I get plumbers 15 new leads a week. I help med spas get 90 appointments in 90 days. Write that down. And what I want you to do is ask yourself, why? Why do they want that? And I want you to ask yourself that. Try to do it 7 times. I know it might be hard. You might only get 3 layers deep. You might only get 4 layers deep. But I want you to go, okay, so if I get med spas 90 appointments in 90 days, why would they want that? Oh, well, they don't want to fire their staff. Okay, well, why don't they want to do that? Because they want to grow to another location. Well, why do they want to do that? So they don't go down that talk track. I'm going to give you 2 minutes and I want to hear some examples. Make sense? Yep. Cool. And while you guys are doing this, I'll tell you a very, very short story that should hopefully illustrate the point. There's a video online you can find, YouTube, whatever. They're in a church, talking to a bunch of people. Gentleman on stage asks someone in the crowd to sing Amazing Grace. Guy stands up, sings Amazing Grace. That's pretty good. Everyone claps like, oh, it's so amazing. And then he said, okay, now imagine you're singing this at the funeral of a close friend. Now sing it again. And the amount of passion, energy, and effort he put in to the song on the second time blew everyone away. Standing ovation. And the difference was, the first time he understood what he was doing, the second time he understood why he was doing it. And this is why you need to understand this why, because that is what's going to motivate someone to actually do it. Not what you do, but why you do it and why it should matter to them. All right, we're gonna do a couple of examples, and then we're gonna keep rocking, and we can get to the main meat of this workshop. This is just a little preamble, okay? So, Tamer, I see you hiding behind this pillar, not making eye contact. I'd love to hear from you. Where'd you start with at the top? How many layers did you get? And then what's the bottom layer? So you don't have to read all of them. I just want to know the top, how far down you got, and then what the last one says.
So, we help paros get 40 new patients every 90 days who are willing and able to invest in cash care. And so going deeper from a owner perspective, why do they want to do that? They want to collect more cash so that that they can delegate more, move out of being the full-time provider and move into being more of an operator slash business owner, and ultimately, or also keep their team busy, help provide for their team and their family, and yeah, move more into operator provider.
Love it, love it. Who else wants to share some examples, or I'll call you out? Here we go. I'm running. Start at the top. What's the first thing you wrote down, and then what's the last thing you wrote down?
Okay, this is for AI solution to get HVAC companies 50 more clients a month. So why? So their techs can stay busy. Why that's important? You can bring more revenue per week. Why that's important? Hire more techs. Why that's important? The owner can stop actually going out and do an install. Why that's important? He can go spend more time with his family. Why is that important? They have small kids at home that need attention. Why is that important? Relieve stress in a life. Why is that important? Happy wife, happy life.
That's great. I love that. That's a round of applause right there. Go, go. Woo! All right. I want one more example. Someone who's feeling good. All right. Hit me.
Okay, so I help PI attorneys get 15 plus additional clients per month in 90 days or less without burning cash, funneling leads into a broken intake process. So why? Because our clients are frustrated with how hard and expensive it is to get more clients. Why? Because they're barely profitable with the cost of cases versus the typical revenue per case. Why? Because the level of competition is insane. Clients view them as commodities. Why? If they don't solve this issue, they're going to need to close up shop and go back to big law and the job they hated.
That's great. That's great. And so guys, like these are the types of things that keep your prospects up at night. It's not that they want AI, it's they want what AI can do for them so they can not do all the home installs themselves, so they can spend more time with their kids, so they don't have to go back to corporate law. All of these things are the deep motivators that they will, when they see your ad, take action because they fear this pain that you are intimately describing. And so when we keep running through this, we talked already a little bit about person, problem, and now the specific way. I want you guys to really hear me when I say this. Having a name is more important than what the name is. What do I mean by that? I don't want you agonizing over trying to come up with some fancy acronym or like, this name has to be perfect. It really, I mean, I love what Bell said. If it can be outcome driven, even better. But the fact that you just have a name is already gonna put you head and shoulders above other agencies. We had worked with, ironically back to roofing, Hamza and Wyra here for, this is probably like 7 or 8 years ago. Worked with roofing companies and scaled up to multiple 7 figures. They just called their system the Roof X method. That's it. Just the Roof X method, but it's enough to differentiate from what everyone else is selling. It creates the unique opportunity in your prospect's head that'll make cold acquisition, strangers on the internet, give you the time of day and pique their interest enough to click on that ad and actually take the step towards booking a call. So again, we talked about the unique opportunity already. And I just want you guys to see like how POD does this, right? Just so you can see a real life example play out in front of you. We have, and we don't honestly talk about this as much as we used to, but we have the infinitely scalable agency system is what we kind of use to push through our ads. Then underneath that umbrella are Champ, the spa offer, prospecting in a box, one call close, define, design, do, cash infusion. So we even give intellectual property and names to individual components of our core offer and the main thing that we do. Again, further differentiating and creating a unique opportunity in someone's mind that they have not tried this before. All right, there it goes. Big out? All right, big voice time. All right, cool, we're almost there. We're gonna get to the workshop here. So can we start to pass those out? I don't know if I got a team member helping. They're already out, love it, cool, we're workshopping. That was a great time for the microphone to die. All right, so. I hate it, I don't want it. All right, probably like 4 minutes on this, I'll be flexible. I want you to start on the top 3, okay? We're gonna do the bottom 3 next. This is the first part. The first 3 questions, your specific person, your specific problem you solve for that person, and then your specific way or name. And again, guys, these are the foundational building blocks of what will allow you to be successful when you're doing the things that Bell was asking you to do. If you were struggling to get to that 20 mark, that 30 mark on that score, these elements will get you closer to that number. So let's take 4 minutes here. We're gonna go around and share a little bit, and then we'll get back into it and wrap this up. Yeah, so this piece of paper you were handed out, there's 6 questions. I want you to answer the first 3 to the best of your ability. It's not gonna have to be perfect. We're starting somewhere. And guys, if you're rolling your eyes when you see this, like, who is the perfect client? and you're struggling to get cold acquisition to work, this is it. This is the unlock that will help you. And if you already have cold acquisition working, this will make it work better. All right, guys, if you're still writing, no worries. I'm going to bring this thing home and talk about some fun stuff. Big head, long tail, next. This is going to be a game changer for you guys. So moving away from how you actually position your offer, we talked about that, 3 S's, working on it right now, it's great. Now I want to talk about how you actually architect your price in a way that is a no-brainer for your clients, is profitable for you, and allows you to pull as much money forward as possible. And why that matters is you want to be able to cover your acquisition costs within 30 days. Because what that means is you can take a credit card, put X amount of dollars on ads, and within those 30 days, make all that money back to pay that off. And then you can spend as much as you want on acquisition if you're covering that expense in those first 30 days. And so, have anyone ever heard of a client-financed acquisition? Ever heard this phrase before? Okay, cool. So Hormozy likes to talk a lot about this. I think he's taking credit for it because I haven't heard it shared anywhere else, and I'm definitely not going to take credit for this. But it's a very simple equation. Looks a little complicated at first. Looks like some algebra that I was terrible at. It's not. This is basically 30-day cash should be greater than whatever your cost to acquire a client is. So your CAC here, cost to acquire a client, and your cost of goods sold, your fulfillment cost, right? So whatever this is, so say it's cost you $500 to acquire a client from Facebook ads. It costs you $500 in the first month to fulfill for that client, right? Okay, so that number is $1,000. Multiply that by 2, it's $2,000, which means for every client that you acquire from your paid ads, you need to ideally collect that much cash within the first 30 days. Because again, what this will allow you to do is have the flywheel of being able to reinvest that money you just made right back into the ads. And so I'm working with Aaron Martinez over at closers.io. We have at POD been starting to spend much more aggressively than we have in the past on paid ads. We are trying, and we just in February spent about $22,000. We're on pace to spend on paid ads. And closers.io, Aaron's team over with Cole Gordon, they spend $20,000 a day, which is a crazy number. So what is that, $600,000 a month on paid ads? Like, there are levels to this game, guys. And this is a big part of how they actually do that. And what what Aaron has shared with us that is really important, I want you guys to understand, is you want your upfront cash return on ad spend so the money you collect in the first 30 days from your ad spend to be 2 to 3 times higher than what you paid. And you want the contracted revenue to be ideally 6 to 8 times that number. So again, it kind of gets you in the same ballpark. It's kind of a different way to look at the same equation. So typically 2 to 3 times what you spend on ads, upfront cash within 30 days, 6 to 8 contracted. That'll put you in a really good spot with your paid ads. But how will you actually know what your pricing should be? So some of you, I've worked with you on your offers before. So I'm just gonna, again, rip the Band-Aid off here and show you guys what this looks like. Highly recommend you write these ones down. This is one of those writer-downers. There's 2 areas you can play between in with your pricing, okay? You have your floor price. Floor price is gonna be 2.5 times your cost of goods sold. But why that number, Brian? I don't get it. Why does that number matter? Because typically what you wanna do is make sure that your client acquisition costs are no more than 40% of top line revenue or 40% of what a client pays you. So if you have a client paying you $1,000 a month, you should, at no more ideally in a perfect world, be spending more than $400 a month to service that client. And why you want to do this, because there's 40% on fulfillment, there's going to be another 10% on overhead, another 10% on acquisition costs, 20% is going to be on your taxes, maybe a little more, and 20% on the profit, so you can actually take some money home at the end of the day. So that's how the numbers kind of shake out if you're wondering why we get that 2.5. So taking that cost of goods sold, multiplying by 2.5, will get you to that nice 40% spot. That's the floor. That's what you have to charge just to keep the lights on and make sure you got the flywheel to be able to keep spending on growth and have money for yourself and pay Uncle Sam. This is the fun part. This is why we defined all the other stuff earlier. Is your ceiling price is going to typically be about 10 to 20% of the average ROI you can realize for a client. So if you can get a roofing company $100,000 a month in new jobs because you close 4 deals at $25K a pop, okay. It's probably not unrealistic for you if you can confidently do that to charge them, including ad spend, asterisk, $10,000 to $20,000. Because if you guys knew you could put $10,000 down or $20,000 down and make $100,000, wouldn't you do that? If you put $1 into the ATM, get $2 out, wouldn't you do that over and over? And so this is how you arrive at a place where your offer is priced in a way that protects your margins, but also becomes a no-brainer for your clients to invest in. Because it's not now, oh, it's cost me $10,000. It's the opportunity cost of not making 100. And so then you get to play between these two numbers with your actual price. And the beauty of this is you maybe start somewhere in the middle so you can negotiate back down to your floor price if necessary to win a deal, do a little bit of a love it or leave it offer, bring them on for a couple months at your floor price, get them to pay full price later. And then also, once you start to get more and better results for your clients, this is where you can increase the price of what you sell because you consistently know, hey, I can make med spas multiple 6 figures per month by running these ads. I therefore can raise the ceiling of what my price is. Does this make sense? Any questions on that? Hit me, Phil. So earlier when I was talking about, contracted would be the full amount of revenue a client is going to pay you. So not the upfront money they pay you, but the full amount of the lifetime value of that client. All right. Let's rock, then we get to go have some lunch, have a good time. So, we still on? Spike it! Spike it! Fuck, we'll do it live! All right, big head, long tail. Okay, we talked about this. Big head, collect as much cash as possible within inside 30 days. This funds growth, funds your ads, pulls cash forward, and you can reinvest back into acquisition. The long tail is back-end continuity where you ideally get clients to pay for something forever. Alex talked about this earlier where maybe just doing a low-ticket SaaS probably isn't the best business model for most people unless you have this silver spoon of crazy amounts of affiliates are going to send you business. But there is a really important spot for that where this can be the long tail on the back end. They might not stay with your lead gen services forever. That's okay. We can have something that they will pay for forever. Maybe they will pay for that AI receptionist or missed call text back or whatever feature that is indefinitely and only pay a couple $100 a month for. But that way you at least get on the front end as much money up front, cover acquisition costs, bring cash forward, and then retain them on something as long as possible to have the recurring revenue stack up. So I want to hear from the audience first before I look at these. Who here has a way in which they pull cash forward? Anyone do this where you incentivize someone to prepay? Strategies? Eric, hit me.
It's a 90-day thing, so they pay for a quarter up front.
Okay, so you position it as a quarter up front first. Okay, I love that. Great. Hickman?
3,000 setup fee, but waive it if they commit to 6 months.
Cool. Love that. A loyalty rate. Commit for X amount of time, and we'll waive the setup fee. I love that. So and this is are you asking them to prepay that 6 months?
No.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Definitely worth considering though, and maybe they prepay 3 months, right? So hey, we'll waive, you commit to 6 months, prepay the first 3, we'll waive the setup. They still save something, maybe they don't have to pay the full 6 months, that's a perfect world, but you can always negotiate back to that, right? And so a couple of just big head strategies to kind of consider. The first 2 are easy said, much harder done. Actually getting the right client on the call in the first place who can afford it. So all the stuff we talked about before, that's how you're going to get people to actually pay more money up front, is they're the right fit. You spoke to the right segment of the market you serve, and you pull that cash forward because they can actually afford it. Indoctrinating people with value and content prior to the sales call. This can be done through content marketing. I know a lot of us aren't famous on social media, but that's okay. Before sales calls, sending people resources, assets, YouTube videos, things that indoctrinate them into your methodology. And again, build trust. Google did this study years ago where people typically have to consume about 7 hours of content before they make a buying decision. If you can manufacture that before they ever get on the phone with you, chances of them being more bought in and willing to pay more sooner, much higher. Only show the prepay price first. Don't immediately default to what your monthly price is. Don't do that. Eric just talked about this. You can always negotiate back to the monthly price. The monthly price going month to month could be more expensive, right? But you don't start there. You start with the thing you want them to see. It's a little bit like a magician. You want to keep their eye on the thing you want them to see, which would be having some type of prepay incentive or at least just showing them the price first. And so what we do on a sales call, like, hey, the investment's $10,000. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do that right now. Okay, hey, investment aside, you feel like this could be the answer for you? Okay, well, why? Make them sell themselves a little bit. Then you can have the conversation around splitting up those payments. Do a split pay. Do a 3-pay. Waive the setup fee to pull 3 months forward of cash. There's different ways we can do this, right? And so your setup fee can be leveraged, just like Hickman was saying, for some of those things. And then in terms of the long tail, we're gonna bring this home, we're gonna go have some lunch. Long tail again, number one, easier said than actually done. Actually get results. If you actually get results for your clients, they're probably gonna stay and you'll have that long tail, right? You can't sell snake oil, not gonna work. This is something we've seen a lot of different people test. And it's allowing people to, on an offboarding form, because by the way, when you're doing like an offboarding call, if you do that with your clients, it's sometimes harder for someone to like say what they're really thinking or feeling to you because they like you, they try, and they don't want to like disappoint you. Having some type of offboarding form that allows them to say like, hey, just hypothetically, like if you were to retain on this, what would you pay? And let them choose. Maybe you're not going to agree to that, but at least something is better than zero if they're going to try and walk out the back door. And then lastly, a menu downsell is pretty simply what I was talking about earlier. It's having the core offer split up a la carte and the lower ticket SaaS offer features that are more sticky, having something like that they can retain on and pay you forever. So again, to wrap this all up, you need to have, if you want cold acquisition to work or work better, specific person, specific problem, specific way. And if you want to have more cash paid up front and longer term recurring revenue, these are the strategies you guys can implement. Thank you so much for your time. I think I did it in under an hour. Let's go. Let's have some good lunch.